So yeah, pretty much done for the day here. I know I was the first day in the cab that you did, and that was truly a day in the cab or a day on the road. As far as it goes from, what was that, 7 years ago or so, I'm doing a lot more office work now. Probably not as much as I should, but I'm doing more office work, doing more remote support, a lot more remote support in that aspect of it, but doing more of the management of the inventory and management of the personnel here. We're doing a lot more internal training now to get everyone up to speed. 7 years ago, it was pretty much myself and Eric Kell who took care of everything, and if it's at AMS, it was our responsibility. But now with all the equipment coming with precision ag equipment on it, the tractors, the planters, the combines, the forage harvesters, everything involving technology, we can't do it all. So we've been training the service techs, training the salesmen on how to sell it, the high points on that, and then also training the parts department on here's the common parts. And we're doing a lot more of that internal training now than we ever were, and doing more customer training. We're working towards 3, maybe 4 customer events a year instead of just the 1 or 2. And it's ever evolving. Technology changes so fast, it's hard to keep up. I know, like with this forage harvester here, I was put in charge of the demos for the forage harvester to kind of show the highlights of all the technology and how to utilize this machine fully. Because when we're talking about a forage harvester with 2 heads, we're nearing $1 million in a purchase. And if you don't show them everything it can do, then they're not getting the value out of that $1 million. And so this way, if you have someone that truly knows the harvest lab and truly knows the displays and the receivers and truly knows how to get the most value out of that product, it may not be a real easy sell, but they can see the value that they're getting for all of that money that they're spending. The advanced customers are utilizing more and more features of every product that you get. And then the smaller customers, which we still have a lot of up here, the 500, 700, 1,000 acre customers, which we still deal with on a daily basis, they're being able to take advantage of the used equipment. We're in the 4th generation of displays right now. And 7 years ago, we were in the 2nd, coming into the 3rd. And so there wasn't much for used out there, or if it was used out there, it was still what that 500 acre farmer would consider a large purchase. Now with everything being on the lower end for the cost for that used equipment, it still works fine and it will do everything that the smaller customer needs. So we've seen a lot more adoption in that smaller customer as the technology has become used. And also Deere has created in the 4240 a price conscious display where they can get into it for lower dollars but still be in the new technology. The 2 things that I think would stand out would be the amount of internal training that is required just to keep everyone up with the basics. Not the advanced stuff, just the basics, because that changes so rapidly in any technology world. And keeping service and sales up on what everything can do. That's been one of the challenges. And then the other challenge is moving from that consultant role into that manager role and finding time for that and finding time to manage the business. And I think that's everyone's problem, is just realizing I need to farm out this to the service department or farm this out to the sales department because they should be doing this and they can be doing this. Well, in 7 years, I won't quite be as old as John Marshall from Wade, but I think I'll still be able to handle it. But I see a lot more automation adoption. I think that's coming a lot quicker than people think. I think agriculture will be the first for automation. I don't know if we'll see much in our area because we are dealing with the smaller farmer, but I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that's going to come in the next, I'd say 3 years, maybe even. a lot more automation. And everything else just, like right now, even in Deere's tractors, it's standard equipment is a display and receiver. It's not, can't get around it. So that aspect of the used equipment, I think we'll have some more of it, but that market may start to shrink because, you'll have to buy the tractor to get it. I think it will be a lot more specialized. You'll have one customer that knows, or one technician or one solution specialist that knows the ins and outs of a forage harvester and a combine. And, one that knows the ins and outs of a planter, and just, they know everything about that. And we kind of went from the specialized when I first started to the general broad. And now I think we're kind of working our way back towards specialized, because you just, like I said, when equipment's approaching $1 million, customers want to see the value of it. And if you don't have one person or two people, or, if you're large enough, 5 people that can get the value out of that equipment, it's going to make it a lot harder to sell.